Hey internet friends, Grace here, reporting to you from the apocalypse. I'm not really sure, it sort of feels that way here in Atlanta. I don't know about where you are. But today I'm not going to tell you how to make hand sanitizer into an alcoholic beverage that you can get drunk off of in the event of societal collapse. No, I'm here to tell you about these corporate CEOs who've been stepping down in 2020 and what seems to be a mass corporate exodus. Now, we probably wouldn't be talking about this on my channel if it wasn't partnered with all these strange circumstances surrounding us right now, like the Jeffrey Epstein saga, the Harvey Weinstein trial and verdict, and we can't forget the coronavirus and the panic that the media has created surrounding this virus, particularly the financial ramifications this panic has yielded. So we ask ourselves, the timing of this, these corporate CEOs stepping down, all a coincidence, just one big coincidence, or is something else going on here? Well, let's take a look, shall we?
January 2020 set a record for the number of CEOs who stepped down in a month, at a total of 219 departures, but I didn't really start paying attention until the CEO of Disney announced his resignation. Let's take a look at this tweet I posted a few weeks ago on February 26. I said, here are the major CEOs who've stepped down in the past month. They include major members of the corporatocracy like Disney, MasterCard, L Brands, Victoria's Secret, Uber Eats, Hulu, MGM, IBM, Salesforce, and LinkedIn. As the days went on, I added to the list of major CEOs who stepped down because I'd missed a few, like the CEO of Nestle Waters, BlackRock co-founder, several Wall Street CEOs, and even Jeff Bezos unloaded $4.1 billion worth of Amazon shares in February. When the stock market crashed a few weeks later because of the panic the media created over coronavirus, I began to wonder, were these CEOs tipped off to the chaos that was to come as a result of worldwide pandemic? Did they sell their stake in the company while the getting was good? Did they all cash out before heading to their bunkers? And when the plague is over, they'll just slither back into society and buy up shares at the bottom dollar? A few of you who commented on this Twitter thread or who messaged me privately seem to think this was the case. The upper echelon was tipped off before hiding out in their bunkers. If you take a look at the stocks of most of these companies whose CEOs stepped down in January and February, the majority of their company's stocks peaked in January and February, only to absolutely tank in March. Take a look. I've put together a few examples on the screen from MGM to Salesforce to Amazon, L Brands. They all follow the same pattern of peaking in February and plummeting in March. Of course, if this is true and these corporate executives did have knowledge that the economy was going to take a major hit, then by resigning in January and February, this allowed these corporate CEOs to cash out on their company stocks that they would otherwise be forced to keep while employed at the company. While a record number of CEOs left their positions within 2 months' time in 2020, lots of people have been keeping up with the pace at which CEOs have been retiring and resigning over the past couple of years. In 2019, it was reported that over 1,300 high-level CEOs had left their positions, even during record stock market highs, and apparently the last time such an influx of corporate resignations occurred, the year was 2002. The last big wave of executive resignations occurred in 2008, in the beginning of the financial crisis. A few of you shared your take on why CEOs were leaving in record numbers over the last couple of years, and it had nothing to do with the recession and everything to do with foul play. In December of 2017, President Trump signed an executive order which authorized the Treasury Department to seize the assets of people and organizations involved in human rights abuse, human trafficking, and corruption. With the ongoing Epstein saga and the recent Harvey Weinstein trial and verdict, that has rocked the reputations of Hollywood and governments around the world? Is it possible that we can connect a portion of these corporate resignations to this executive order? Well, we can speculate a little. There are big-name folks out there who are out of a job because of their association with Jeffrey Epstein and his Mossad blackmail operation, like Les Wexner, the CEO of Victoria's Secret and owner of L Brands, who stepped down from his role in February of 2020 There's an MIT Media Lab director who resigned last year after it was reported that he helped Epstein secure anonymous donations. Even President Donald Trump's labor secretary, Alex Acosta, stepped down amid backlash over a secret plea deal he orchestrated for Epstein in 2007. And we can't forget Prince Andrew, who stepped back from his royal public duties because of his association with Epstein. Those are the reports we've heard about, but what haven't we heard about? And I don't know, the whole Epstein thing really feels like a psychological operation. Which I don't mean to say what's being reported about blackmail and sex islands isn't true, I'm just saying. Like Harvey Weinstein is the fall guy for all perverts and abusers in Hollywood, it really seems like Epstein was the fall guy for government blackmail operations. As if to imply by the media outing Epstein, the government has now been cleansed of all its wrongdoings, since Epstein is now out of the picture. But we both know that's not true. And I wonder, will any real justice ever be had? This whole ordeal was really punctuated by Bill Gates stepping down from the Microsoft board of directors over the weekend, which he said was in an effort to dedicate more time to philanthropic priorities including global health and development, and his increasing engagement in tackling climate change. Hilarious, right? These jokes write themselves these days. Back in 2018, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, who is not a medical professional, ran a pandemic virus simulation which he projected would kill 33 million people if that simulation came to fruition. A year later, alongside the Johns Hopkins Center, the Gates Foundation hosted Event 201 at the World Economic Forum in October of 2019. Event 201 was a high-level pandemic exercise that basically played out a pandemic with potentially catastrophic consequences, which then became what the Gates Foundation labeled Event 201. That would require cooperation between industries, governments, and key institutions. On February 28, 2020, Bill Gates called coronavirus the once-in-a-century pathogen we've all worried about, as he sounded the alarm for world leaders to respond accordingly. One has to wonder if he was signaling for world leaders to order more hand sanitizer for their bunkers, or if he was just signaling his friends to cash out their poker chips on the stock market, so they could sell high and buy up stocks later when the prices hit rock bottom. There have been many mainstream articles debunking Bill Gates' connection to the coronavirus. And at this point, my advice to billionaire Bill, whose father served on the board of Planned Parenthood, would be to stop paying journalists to correct the record for you and go full 1984 and just open up your own ministry about yourself and Big Pharma. Oh wait, that's already happened. Since 1875, Big Oil is Big Pharma. Think Rockefeller medicine. And all of these industries are incestuous. From government to Hollywood to medicine, they're all just different tentacles of the same octopus. When the dust settles on all of the panic surrounding the alleged pandemic, everyone is going to forget that all of these CEOs stepped down in this mass corporate exodus, because the 24-hour news cycle makes sure the masses are constantly distracted. But I want to know, internet friends, what do you think? Were these CEOs tipped off? Is the news failing to report the real reasons why these CEOs are stepping down? Because of their connections to unsavory individuals and practices? Let me know. I always look forward to your comments. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and supporting my channel on Patreon. Bye!